Rolling once again. Here it is. Is it Monday? Is it Monday Night Beers? Gentlemen, greetings.
Hello.
I'm actually doing a Dr. Pepper and Bourbon here.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that sounds real good.
That sounds so dope.
Now my beer sounds like trash.
Dude, what's good, everybody?
Trying to get by. I think I really thought about the program today. And it really does, even more so, because on Saturday and Sunday, and that's the purpose of Monday Night Beers, essentially, is that you're bummed out because it's Monday and you still have that to look forward to. But like Saturday and Sunday to me still feel the same because I'm a homebody. I'm watching TV. I'm sitting on the balcony. I'm cooking shit. I'm watching TV starting at like 8 o'clock. I'm not out rocking and rolling. But then like Monday, I still feel that bummed. Like, well, what's my purpose in life? But then I remember Monday Night Beers is around the corner, the same as it ever was.
Oh,
We're here for everyone.
It's the only way. This thing's the only way I know what fucking day it is.
Yeah.
Before we get into the listeners' ideas for conversation, I wanted to hit everybody with something that I feel like is relatable. Earlier today, doing whatever, I go into the pisser, I start pissing, and I catch one of those split streams where the fucking one is hitting out and the other one, I pissed on my own fucking foot. It was goddamn. It's hard to get it back on track. It's hard to get back on track in those situations.
It is the tip of your dick doing this. And it is disturbing every time.
Yeah.
That is something that men don't talk about. I haven't heard that as fodder for a stand-up routine. And it is a very specific thing that happens to everybody. And it's in if it's not your own home, like at a urinal, that's a disaster also. If there's people standing next to you.
In these times, I'm sitting there, I'm using Clorox wipes that I hadn't accounted for to try to clean everything up and get things back to normal. So good.
Nothing worse than cleaning up your own urine.
Yeah.
It's a real low.
Just a little pee-pee.
Yeah, but then like I've had it happen like in the middle of the night. And I'm just like, go to the bathroom, and then of course, and now that you live with another person,
right,
a lady, you get the business.
Yeah, when you lived at the old crib, Pop, man, you obviously just urinated everywhere in that bathroom.
Out of the bed,
just roll over, bedpan.
I was just
Pop, do you have a story? I know that I've heard a story of like someone in public just like standing there and then all of a sudden the person at the urinal next to you is just pissing on your leg, essentially. That's not you?
I don't think that's me.
Oh, okay.
I've
heard that story though of someone in public
cool.
just like realizing they're getting fucking leaked on.
That is a recently told story, and I can't think where that came from.
Yeah.
I feel like if that was me, I probably wouldn't have forgotten it.
Right. You wouldn't know.
You could be in jail for what you did to the person who pissed all over you.
Yeah, right. Also, you guys know that on Mondays, Metallica is putting up like a live concert on their YouTube every week. And to this point, this is like probably the 4th or 5th week, but all of them to this point have been like 17 or 18, like rather recent. But tonight at 5, and then it stays on their shit the whole week, is 1991 from Muskegon.
Oh, damn.
Oh, wow.
So that seems like a show that you'll want to check out.
That's
going to be sick.
Mm-hmm.
This is on what?
It's on Metallica's YouTube page. They just put up a free concert each Monday now at 5 o'clock in the West, 8 o'clock in the East, and then it's up for a week.
And it's shot by their guys. It's not like a camera shot.
Yeah, right. It's not like a special that they did. It's like they just have footage. They're shooting stuff. And I don't know what this 91 thing is going to look like, but yeah, they've been pretty polished to this point.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
And they just leave it up for a week?
Yeah, and then they put a new one up on Monday. I think it's like we're doing our best, but we're not fucking giving away the store.
Delete it.
Flip phone guy on the Monday Night Beers Instagram would like to know, what's your go-to pick when you're bullying the jukebox? What does that mean, bullying?
I think it just means like you're just, hitting the jukebox.
Yeah.
Just a fun way to say that.
Yeah.
Put like $10 in, just dominate for a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, that's us at the Roost, man. I mean, the Thin Lizzy, we play a lot of fucking
That's off top.
some lesser known Springsteen. What else goes on over there?
You do. No, you are usually in charge off your phone, and like you do have a very specific go-to that you go to. You play. Vince always plays County Fair, Bruce Springsteen, and what's the other Springsteen off the box set off the river?
Oh, it's from Small Things, whatever it's called. Small Things, something. Yeah.
So, from all the something from. Yeah.
Small things, mama, big things someday come, one day come, but
big
I don't know what the
things,
title is. Is it
From
called Big
small things, big things one day come. Yeah.
Don't you play Silver Stallion a lot too, right?
Silver Stallion? What's that?
The band Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson and Christopher Thompson.
Highwayman.
Yeah. I kept
Highwayman,
flight.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
You also
Bad to the bone.
Gnarly's always got to play it every time.
Gotta have some Thorogood.
You also play Metallica Breadline a lot.
Bread Fan.
Bread Fan, sorry.
Which is the Budgie cover from Garage Days.
Breadline is the
Bread Fan.
but Breadline is the Megadeth song off of the early 2000s or late 90s single.
Breadline is what the Russians are going to have us in if we don't fucking take this country back.
Well, I'll be standing there. Hey,
I was thinking, I'm so bored. I even missed that guy from the Roost who used to play Weird Al on the jukebox.
Dude.
Monday night
dude.
Breadline.
Through in the chat, I saw shit pants today when I was driving to get on San Fernando at that Arco on the corner.
This is an exciting report, Gnarly.
He was just right. And you saw the car. It wasn't that cool ass one he had. That when you saw us at Dave's at one time, that loud ass beater.
Yeah.
It was just like that little 2-seater, and he was just looking up at the gas price while he was doing it.
Oh, I thought you were he's looking up at the sun. He's just
shitting his pants standing there.
Should we explain who this fellow is?
Power Moves listeners are probably familiar, but yeah.
For anyone else,
we've talked about many times. Shit Pants is a gentleman who comes into the various dive bars that we spend our Monday night beers and other events at, and he makes the rounds to all of them. But a lot of times, this isn't just a couple times, it's a lot of times, he comes in, he takes a shit, doesn't flush, and then leaves the bar. Because he's got a shit, and he's basically an older man who's hunting for his buddies, who are the other old guys. They probably don't text or have each other's phone numbers.
That's why it's always so funny when he comes in and he looks around and it's just us, and then he just leaves in disgust.
The best.
I mean, the man is so proud of leaving the bathroom without finishing his duties,
Well, what happened one time why he used to be kind of sweet on us, and he'd roll up, hang out, smoking cigs, smoking a joint, and he'd, chit-chat with us, tell us some just bizarre story that made no sense. Also, Shit Pants has got the coke nail, which he's down. He says he's 81 years old. I think he smokes Capris.
He's not 81.
That's what he says. That's another part of the Shit Pants saga. And
being full of shit.
Man's a liar.
He rolled direct in the Roost, and we were the only ones in there. And I noticed this after when I went and took a piss, how clearly he could hear everything. But we were dogging on Shit Pants because he went in there and started ripping ass real fucking violently. And we're all like, we got pops in us. We're a little bit of toked up, and you can't not laugh at.
It's so cool.
Sometimes it's weird with the Roost. Sometimes you're in the bathroom and you can fucking hear everything everyone's saying and you don't realize it. So maybe
I think he heard it because he came out, he split immediately, and I don't think he was ever good to us again.
I don't care, man. If you fucking rip ass, I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah, I mean, you want to hang out with the guys, or you want to hang out with the guys?
Well, it's good to know he's thriving. He's able to get some gas in his car and take care of whatever it is he's taking care of out there.
I would like to also answer the jukebox question.
Oh, yeah.
I like to go, I'm of course, mine's real basic, but I'm going to go heavy on Halen and heavy on Seeger. And I personally love the way Def Leppard's Hysteria sounds out of a jukebox in a bar. There's just certain songs that just sound right. You know, it sounds like you're having a good time in an 80s bar that looks like an 80s bar. So,
Yeah,
Early Oasis hits loud on a jukebox.
yes.
definitely.
And you can explain why.
Well, yeah, it's all rigged up, dude. They hooked it up that way, baby.
Mastered that shit at the full volume.
But Vince, explain why that is, because I find that fascinating.
Well, they mastered the record, like when you mix a record and then you have to master it for either being put onto a CD or on a vinyl or whatever it is. But that's like the final sort of compression, and it, if you can do it at different levels. And so they made a conscious effort to master it in such a way where when you play it on a jukebox, it's going to be louder. At least at that point, it was the loudest thing. Now I think there's probably a couple other things that will rival it. But when you put an Oasis song in at the Roost, it's always going to be the loudest thing you've heard to that point.
It's really neat. It's essentially, it's kind of like they had the gain cranked up on that.
Right.
It's really fucking it's so smart.
Pop Man, what are you listening to? What are you cranking, Juke?
Oh, I mean, whatever song has been in my head that day, or I might just go standard like country, like Charlie Rich, or like I might toss in like some, I don't know, like Pavement or something, or fucking, I don't know. I just kind of go with the flow. I do kind of miss, as much as I like the jukes that you could just play them on your phone and stuff, I do miss bars that you had to like curate an actual jukebox. There's a limit to how many CDs are in there. You can have like
Drawing room.
Yeah, drawing room. What was that bar in New York that we went to? Was it the Lake House?
Great Lakes, I think it was called.
Great Lakes.
Right?
It was in Manhattan. I don't know. I just remember they had a really good jukebox, and
Yeah, I do.
Places took pride in that also.
Yeah.
And I think it was the Brooklyn spot that we liked that I can never remember the name, that was by my crib. Palace.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Did Palace, if I'm not had custom CDs by customers, correct? Like
Well,
Burns.
they had a bunch of records of their own, and I don't know if they were by customers or not, but those guys would very quickly skip something if they, like I saw people put in like a Pink Floyd song, and the bartender would just say no.
Or do you remember a guy put in a Sammy Hagar Halen song, and they just skipped it? It's like, well, why is it even in the jukebox? But and then whenever a guy would get kicked out, he'd just be like, "Time to go, buddy." Did the one guy threaten to shoot him? And then he was like,
a guy. Yeah, he goes, "Come back! Why have a gun?" And the guy was like, "I'm here every fucking day."
Oh, and I forgot. That's the guy. I ran out of money and had to move back to back to Michigan, and I put my TV on Craigslist, and then that guy showed up as the guy who bought my TV. And it was a big, like, box, old tube, heavy ass TV, and that dude, he lifted it up like it was like an empty suitcase. I couldn't believe it.
Only after he was like, "I'm not going to have any trouble with this, am I?"
Yeah, he was, "Buddy, I'm not going to have any problem with this TV, am I?" I'm like, "No, absolutely not, man."
Those TVs,
They'll kill me.
Just the worst. Like my TV that I had in Brooklyn and previously, I believe was a 42, but I could be wrong. Could have been a 36-inch. And they were so top heavy. There's no way to carry those things unless you just went full strongman and just bouldered it.
Yeah, like when I worked as a mover, my least favorite thing to carry was probably old TVs like that, because you just have to like bear hug it and squeeze it, and you can't even get a good grip on it or anything. And
it's nuts.
Yeah.
Sucks.
I will sometimes get vindictive on the jukebox, though, if people are playing what I perceive to be bad music. I will, or if someone's acting out, I've walked out of the Roost and put on Angel of Death, or like we put on fucking the Louvin Brothers, Satan is Real, with the full like sermon,
which is a great song.
I think, and we won't do the whole story because it's long and most people have heard it, but that was one of the big triggers of the melee at Cabin Bar.
Oh yeah.
They had been skipping getting Vince's Motley Crue selections. It was,
No, it was Bois. Bois put on
Yeah, whatever.
Jay
it
Bois,
was.
everybody, something,
Yeah,
and then
bartender wasn't having it, and well, I mean, yeah, we don't. I mean, we might
think
as
it
well
was
just tell it right.
and I thought it was the bouncer.
no, this is I was at so Jay Bois. Are we gonna do the story?
No.
We got to do it now, right?
All right.
No, let's not do it. Let's not do it.
Let's not do it. We'll save that for another day.
Okay.
Rob Lobster 43. What is the best stadium, ballpark, or arena you have ever been to, and why?
Mm,
Oh, excuse me. God damn.
that's tough.
I mean, Tiger Stadium.
The old
Tiger
one.
Stadium?
Yeah, the old one.
You thought that was good.
Yeah, I mean, there's some. It wasn't fancy, and there were some obstructed view seats, but I don't think I don't think I've seen a better. When it's packed and rocking, it's probably the best place.
So
I've
you're
ever seen
saying
it.
for atmosphere in the seats. That's
Yeah.
why.
And plus, it's I don't
You're supposed to show your work. You're supposed to say why.
know. It's just it was a fun place to watch a baseball game when it was packed.
Yeah. Does he say nicest or best?
Best.
Best.
So it's just
Yeah.
like
Your
Your call.
favorite.
Yeah.
Your favorite.
Nicest is probably the one in San Diego. The
Echo?
Padres. Yeah.
It's a beautiful place to go watch baseball. I mean, I always really enjoyed Wrigley Field just because I lived in that neighborhood and living within a 5-6 block radius of a ballpark and having all the ballpark Chicago style bars. Just that whole thing was a big vibe. It was like the whole area was one bar is what it felt like. Once you got into the area, there was bar, walk into get a $12 bleacher seat ticket for the afternoon, go watch 4 innings and then bounce to somewhere else. And it's just a great culture.
Gnarly.
PNC Park in Pittsburgh. That's a
Oh, nice.
cool ass stadium.
I've heard that's nice. I haven't been there.
Like, you look out in the outfield, you can see downtown. But then when we went, with Carlos and all the dudes, the bridges you take to get there, they just shut them all down, and everyone's just fucking drinking outside. And it was a $7 double Jack and Cokes, and they let you buy 2 at a time, so you can just double fist them like right outside the gates. So you just like pound those up, walking to the stadium. And when we went, it was Kershaw against Garrett Cole. When Kershaw had the streak going for scoreless innings, and they beat his ass. But that game went to extra innings and we ended up losing. But it was just cool because like Pittsburgh fans they were nice. They got real cocky, and the Pirates ain't shit. And Wrigley's a dump too. I will say that. Burns is a good shot, but fuck Wrigley, a dump.
Yeah, it's gotten improved. Last time I
I
went
couldn't
back.
find a Chicago dog when I went to Wrigley. I was like, where can I find like a Chicago hot dog? And everyone kept telling me I had to go upstairs, all this other shit. And then my seats when I was at Wrigley, I couldn't see like the rest of the outfield.
Yeah,
And I was like, this is what $80 gets you?
right. Especially if you had to overpay for those tickets, man.
And a trough to pee in.
Yeah. But it is the vibe, it is like it's the Chicago vibe. It's guys that love going to that. They love that team. And I think that's what always gave it a good vibe, was that everyone who went to the Cubs game loved the Cubs no matter if they sucked or not. They didn't just clear out. It was still an event to go to the ballpark. Now you can bring like your own food, just like you can at Dodger Stadium. I think they did that first. And we forget every time we've been to a Dodger game. Every single time, I feel like we go there and we're standing in line and we're like, we could have brought stuff. We could have brought a bag of pork rinds. Like,
You could take in Little Caesars, Dodger Stadium.
yeah. Maybe, well, won't happen this season probably.
What about you, Vince?
I guess maybe just Joe Louis Arena, since it was like kind of same as Pop. It's like it's sort of got that nostalgia thing, but it was also like pretty tight little spot. And I saw a bunch of shit there, from Red Wings to concerts to all kinds of other stuff. Plus, I like any stadium that you don't have to like park at. Like Dodger Stadium, you can kind of walk up, but like if it's in a city or whatever where you can sort of park wherever and get to it, that's already a fucking huge bonus to me.
For sure. It's not like you could go to the Palace of Auburn Hills and just park down the street. Like,
Right.
oh, there's
Fuck that place.
Oh, the Palace sucked. And I think we can agree the worst stadium in America was that Charger Stadium.
Qualcomm.
Yeah, it was
Dumb.
It was a prison that had a football field in the middle of it.
One way in, one way out.
And we just happened to be there. We just happened to be there when it was under a magnifying glass and the sun was burning us like a fucking ant.
It looks like a parking garage, and it was just 1,000 degrees, and it just was the
That
worst.
place sucks.
Yeah.
And
I
to
went
make
there
it
after a bachelor party. That was just like after the bachelor party night. Going to the game was supposed to be like the cool hang. I was like, dude, fuck this. Chargers suck. Like, I don't want to be here. It's terrible.
Well, when we went to see the Lions, and the Lions started out hot, and we were all excited, like, oh, this is going to be a good experience. Then they shit the bed. So now we're sitting in the sun, and they passed out these hankies. So we're soaking those with water, and you got them underneath your hat, and you feel like you're going to die. We should have seen
some photos. There's some photos of us at that game.
We were having an amazing time at that place, that bar and restaurant.
Yeah, we should have just stayed there.
We should have just stayed there.
Oh, shit. Lamorak, he, she, they ask dogs or cats?
Dogs. I like them both, but I mean that's not a question for me. That's steak and chicken. Dogs.
I would say dogs, but I also have 2 cats at the moment, so I don't hate cats, but I'm more of a dog guy.
Ugh.
I wish cats nothing but the best.
Case by case for me. I gotta go case by case. I can't say one or the other. It just depends on which one we're talking about.
I like them both, man. And our shop dog, he finally died. R.I.P. to Ace. Pour one out for Ace. It was sad. I'm gonna miss that guy. He was a rescued like American Bulldog. His head was all like scarred up from like his previous life, and he would just stare at you. That's all he did. Would just be like, you pet him. He got all fat. It's like
lives in the shop.
No, it was our owner's dog, but like, he would always be there.
Yeah.
Like the first time I met him, he's like a big American Bulldog. And I was like, yo, what's up with this dude? He just stands there, just doesn't give a fuck, walks up to you, smelly breath. Then he got so fat when he would sit, his dick would be on the floor. And that shit just made me laugh, just like dick on the cold. It was so dope.
Oh, man.
I like dogs, man.
Dogs love to put their dick on cold concrete. It's just, and you get it. You're like, yeah, you're fucking hot.
Sorry, go ahead.
What was the name of that dog you had for like a hot minute that had the giant dick?
His name was Little Ricky.
Little Ricky.
Little Ricky had a dong that did not fit the animal. He was very well endowed. Very well endowed.
Very blessed.
Bernsey, you got some shit over there? Some topics, some questions, some concerns?
I believe I do. All right, here we go. Chris _ BOERS 83. Chris Bowers, I guess. Favorite podcast to listen to? What's your favorite podcast other than our own collective ones, of course?
Oddly enough, as much as podcasts have done for my life, I don't really listen to them that much. I think if I'm going to go on a plane or something, I'll usually do like a Stone Cold if he's got somebody on there, or sometimes if it's just him talking.
Yeah.
But I don't really,
Yeah, unless I'm traveling or I'm just going to I hear about one, I'll download something. I like news stuff or science stuff or I do like, what's the country western one? Cocaine and
Rhinestones.
Yeah. I've enjoyed a few of those ones.
That would be my only non-sports podcast that I listen to regularly or get excited for. But Tyler Mahan Co. does that. Cocaine and Rhinestones. If you like hardcore rock and roll stories or country music or hip hop gangster stories, it's all the same. The stories are incredible. They're so dark and great. And then I listen to, because I like to have fantasy football information pumped into my ears at all times. I listen to Dynasty Nerds podcast. I listen to Fantasy Footballers. I listen to Dynasty Dude, and what's the other one? The regular CBS one, Fantasy Football Today. Like I just went today. I just when I went for a walk there, I went and walked around for an hour and blew through the CBS Fantasy Football Today. It's just nice and dumb shit, but I feel
all-time favorite, my favorite murder.
Which episode is my favorite? I'll tell you what, man. I have probably listened to more of My Favorite Murder than most other podcasts because when we go on trips, like I love true crime. I love Forensic Files. I watch all that shit. So when we drive to Palm Springs or something for a weekend out of town, I look forward to my favorite. It's just perfect in the car. I want to hear about the stories, and it kills like 2 hours like nothing.
Palman, you start watching Forensic Files 2 yet, or are you still boycotting because the voiceover?
It could never be the same without.
It's not.
The near Peter Thomas.
Isn't it Peter Thomas?
It is, right?
Peter Thomas. Isn't that? I'm having a complete brain fart. I was thinking of Henry Thomas is the dude from the Waltons. It is Peter Thomas.
Yeah.
We don't have broadcast TV, so I haven't even seen it yet. Is it on like Netflix or anything?
No, I think it's still like the first season is still sort of happening.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on. It's not A&E. It's
HLN?
TLC. I think it's TLC, or is it HLN? Maybe it is HLN.
But part of the whole charm of Forensic Files is the dated look of everything, and plus the narrator. So if you like fancied it up and make it present day, I don't know if it would even really work. I mean,
honestly, they have not they've done a very good job of keeping it sort of the same. I mean, obviously the look is updated as far as the people, but Gnarly, what about you in podcasts?
I listen to Football Daily, and it's This Football. They got some cool shit. And I'll do like Rogan, depending on who he has on. Get all high and listen to that shit. Like he had the dude who wrote that book Chaos about the Charles Manson murders on recently, and that was like a really cool ass one.
Oh yeah.
And that's about it, dude. Yeah. I will listen to the occasional Come Town here and there because that guy Nick Mullen makes me laugh.
Oh yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, and that's about it. But I mainly like the sports ones, and then like, well, I guess it counts as a podcast. So I've been watching on my phone with the Michael Jordan documentary, just because. Shout out to that daddy. I forget the name, but he hooked me up. I've just been smashing through those. They're so dope.
I watched 3 and 4 last night. I guess
when I watched the Kobe one. It's sad, dude. It just brings back a lot of shit. It's like the All-Star game vibe, and then you hear Jordan and like the East being like, "Yo, number 8 in that little locker room, like he's gonna get that ball and he's gonna come at us. Like all he wants to do." And you're just like, "Damn, I'm talking about Kobe." Like all these like dope ass fools and like their shit. Jordan's like breaking everybody's balls. Magic shows up, and fucking Jordan's like, "Get the fuck out of here! You're not the East, you're the West." And he's like, "You know what this is, baby?" Like it's just so good. Sorry, I'm high, dude. My bad.
Apologize, Gnarly. Apologize.
I watched 3 and 4 last night, and they're fantastic once again.
I only got to 3. I'm saving 4. Got it for me.
Yeah, because when it's gone, it's like you feel it's one of those. Oh man, like I wish I still had more.
Yeah,
it's like today.
Marina wants to watch it, so I'm gonna start them all over. I'm like, we're gonna start from the beginning. I've just been watching them on my phone, so I'm gonna put it on the TV.
Melissa will watch it. She like last night she watched 3 and then she's like, that's enough for me tonight, and she doesn't care if she misses it. So then after she goes to bed, I'll rock 4. And
I will say tomorrow night's Dark Side of the Ring should be fucking awesome. It's the Dr. D. David Schultz where he slaps John Stossel.
Damn,
and the clips I've already seen is shit I have not seen before, and it looks fucking tremendous.
I got all caught up on that this weekend.
What is the last one?
Dino Bravo.
I have not seen the Dino Bravo, and then what's the previous?
Brawl for All? No.
I saw
Snuka. Snuka was the one. Yeah.
Wait, I just watched the Benoit one. Were there ones after that?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Benoit was
Yeah.
1 and
Oh.
2, and then it was
All for all.
for all.
Snuka.
Dino Bravo, and then tomorrow is Dr. D.
Is that shit up on YouTube, or do I gotta?
I would check Vice's YouTube. I don't know for sure.
Okay.
They got a free app though. Like on the app, it has them, I believe.
Okay.
You just have to watch commercials with it, but it's worth it.
Commercials.
I don't mind commercials. I like that. It's like, oh, it's time to take a piss. It's time to get a beer. It's, go get us a handful of Doritos. You know, like otherwise, I don't have a pacing of when to do those things.
Yeah.
Dino Bravo got fucked up.
Yeah, man.
I still have to watch 2 then, I guess, and this will make 3 that I'm behind. But that's a nice evening when you don't have anything that you feel like watching.
Did you see Brawl for All? Have you seen the Brawl for All?
Yeah.
Oh, I love Brawl for All is fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like some people I don't think understand if they're not wrestling connoisseurs or fans that it's just I'm not into wrestling. These are not like WWE candy coated, sugar coated for kids documentaries. These are, if you like sports, if you like nitty gritty bullshit, this is all of it.
Crazy stories.
This is all you can eat buffet.
Butterbean's so sick in Brawl for All when he's just like, my kid said, Daddy, you killed that man. I said, no, I didn't.
Butterbean, Bay City bouncer
Mm.
from he was a Midland Street guy, if you're familiar. Did you guys ever go to Bay City, Midland Street, and hit the bars?
Nah.
I went to Bay City as a kid, but never.
Yeah.
After we
Never to
turned
party.
21, let's say we turned 21. We were in college. We'd be home for a weekend in the summer. We'd go to Bay City, and Midland Street was a really happening strip of all these very Michigan-y sports bars. Super fun place to hang out. But that's where Butterbean was a bouncer at one of those bars. And then Art Dorr starts the Tough Man contest. And Art Dorr and Butterbean became a superstar in the Tough Man. Do you remember the Tough Man contest?
Oh yeah.
Who is there? Someone in this group who knows or told a story about going to one of the Tough Mans in Detroit, and Mr. T was the host, and this like big fat dude like makes the challenge and just gets fucking rocked, and Mr. T is on the mic. He's like, "Get this fat boy out of here!"
That's great. That's a pretty good Mr. T.
I actually won a couple of Tough Man competitions. Did I not tell you guys that?
That's what I was
No.
thinking.
Okay.
Well, speaking of the Palace, though, they used to have fight night at the Palace, right, where they'd have the boxing matches like on Fridays, and dudes from my high school would go, and there would be more fights in the crowd than fucking than matches on the card that night.
If you're going, they used to give tickets to that for free in like your pizza boxes.
Yeah.
You order pizza before fucking tickets to fight night because nobody would go except guys who wanted to fight.
Yeah.
You guys see there's some underground fights going on in LA right now, like on the low, like some warehouse fights. Everyone's
What club?
You think that's happening?
With masks on or no?
No, I'm talking like some underground shit. Like people pull up, like get your gambling fix. Because where I work, they had cockfights in it. So I'm assuming there's like some other shit going on. I'm just saying. Would you guys go if that was an option right now or not?
Fight Club?
Oh, yeah.
Like not right now.
Throw some money on it. Like Burns, hey man, I gotta wait for us to make it quick 1,200, dude. We just pull up. I know. Hey, Carloco is fighting, dude. Carlos is gonna fight.
All right.
He told me, dude, he's gonna win, baby.
Like,
Let's go.
I like boxing matches. I like fights where like it's idiots and nobody gets hurt too bad, but it's funny to watch people be stupid. I don't know. Watching like a bare knuckle warehouse fight or something would probably just kind of bug me out a little bit.
I would love to go support the homie Carloco, and I can't think of anything better than watching him beat the fucking shit out of someone and we win some money and then go to the bar. But what if it doesn't go well and now we're sitting there and he's just on the ground and it's just like an whack, whack, and like, oh no, Carloco's dead, and then our night's ruined. And
you ruined our night, Carloco. Why did you ruin our night?
Well, we both. I'll hedge the bet and bet on the other guy. They'll even out. No, we'll be fine.
I have another question. This is from Quig77. Steak tips are seemingly a New England delicacy. Why hasn't the rest of the country adopted the practice of cutting sirloin into smaller chunks to maximize marinade penetration and char? Steak tips, when we would go to the Ponderosa, that was the cheapest cut that you could get, because obviously it's trimmings. It's the tip of the steak, and it's a little pointy, so they trim it off so the steak's more perfect. And we ate that. You get steak. Remember, in a restaurant, you get steak tips with like onions and mushrooms on the sizzling platter. Man, that's good. I got to make that. I should make that now.
Well, that's like at the smokehouse in Burbank. That's like the fucking the Frank Sinatra plate there that he used to always get. It's like a steak tip, mushroom, some other bullshit. Thing.
Yeah, that's dynamite. I mean, I just love. I like my food sometimes like little kid. You know, like it's like a parent had cut it up because it's just easier to eat. Like I'll rip a steak and some broccoli with no utensils because it's just bites. It's just a little tree of broccoli, a little nugget of steak. That it's very like, you know, it's European or something, whatever I'm making up.
Yeah. I think
in European Frenchness, cuisines, they all be eating with their fingies.
It might not be as popular as in the Northeast, but I think steak tips are all over. That would be my take.
I haven't seen it here.
Pop man, you get any tips?
I have not. I'm not sure why it's not caught on. I'm not a food expert, but I think they're good. That's my take on the matter.
Yeah, you don't have a problem with that. You don't have any arguments to be made. Yeah, that's it. I mean, people can only ask us so many questions throughout the week.
Well, but it's like, I thought we were all having beers together. I thought people wanted to talk about stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, we'll push it a little harder. Maybe I'll push it on the show. I had someone reach out to me today because, you know, there's so much content. People don't know where stuff is. Asked, I can't find Monday Night Beers on iTunes. Like, where is it? And like, we decided it's going to be YouTube only until we can properly record it. I think that's the right move.
It'll be something to look forward to at the end of the pandemic when we can finally get together and put it together and have it out everywhere, you know.
In March of 2022, we can finally start hanging out again.
Vince's beard is just...
It's getting real ripe.
Oh, dude, I'm fucked. My shit's just like,
For like a second with your headphones, I thought your beard, you were doing like a Scott Ian, that dude from Anthrax thing. Where
I mean, I'll be sorely disappointed. I had to take this down yesterday, but you've crossed the line where you're almost to big beard. Like, you're starting to get that mustache definition is in there. I think you got to keep it.
Dude, I was like, well, I have no plans to like do any maintenance other than like, I've already trimmed a few times just
you can't have it.
But even today
the food hole.
We're fucking eating lunch and I go, Georgia, do you see this? Are you seeing this? And there's just hair from my face like going into my mouth. I'm like, God damn.
Does your face get hot when it's like, you know, it's been like in the 90s?
No, but what happens is anytime I like, you know, I drink a protein shake in the morning and I have to use a straw now because it would just be in this like dripping and like it just retains shit. It's not fun, but
the milk mustache.
I'm committed.
Man, but I think you got to keep the beard going, and then you could take the dome down because that's going to make it really pop when you get that first haircut. You can just get some clippers and just buzz your shit.
But
just fade the sides and let the rest grow. Just keep the beard, fade the sides.
I kind of want to fucking I just want to see how long this lasts and what my shit looks like having not been touched.
It looks good. You look like old Vince.
I did the thing where I fucking, you know, paid for a couple of haircuts in advance to try to keep my barber alive. So
yeah,
he's probably going to charge me double when he fucking sees me, but whatever.
Just got to get the big snips out. I cut these in yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
That's the look. Pop Man, I just want to make sure
that guy in 8th grade.
I want to make sure it didn't bounce back. Did you send the album this morning and it bounced back on me?
I was going to text you. I'm almost done. Like I said, I woke up feeling like shit.
Oh, right.
And then
Okay.
I had to
All
play
right.
I had to play a little poker, make a little money, and then I'll be done by the end of the evening. I
Pop,
promise.
man, you send that in, or I'm going to come over and breathe on you.
No, it's almost done. I'm almost done.
All right.
People want that right now. Now is the time.
People are clamoring. You want to be number one on iTunes?
Ugh.
Come on.
We can get that done.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'll have it done by the end of the day.
I was telling Gnarly before you guys got on, I had gotten like a label printer so that I could finally just put the postage on shit from my house instead of having to stand in the post office. Finally figured it out today after like a week of like fucking with it. And it was just like, oh, now I'm ready to I want to sell everything. Since I have the ability to just print postage, I'm just ready to fucking like.
Yeah, there is a very satisfying feeling when you got the sticky things and it just comes out perfect and you get it dialed. It's just and you tear it off and it's just bang.
Yeah, I'm ready. It's good stuff.
That's great.
Just start putting shit on eBay, man.
My Top shop.
Gnarly's moving on some real nice product with the new Thin Lizzy t-shirts.
Hey, Marina, can you throw me a shirt? Thin Lizzy one, please. No, dude, I had 7 more daddies buy a Thin Lizzy shirt.
Really? That's fucking great.
Salute.
Taking care of Gnarly. He's got the hours cut.
What size are you, Burns and Pop? You rocking
Large.
with 2 larges?
Large, yeah.
Got you, baby.
Nice.
Got you, baby.
Can
Nice.
they still? Can people still buy them or no?
Yeah, dude, I got to print 7 tomorrow.
What
And those will be shipping out Wednesday. Just hit my DM, doing it very DIY.
DM Gnarly Zach on Instagram and get yourself a Thin Lizzy.
You just hit me up, tell your size. Once it's shipped, I hit you up for the shipping and the money. Forget about it.
I think this might be the first time I'm going to have to get a large t-shirt.
Large, I wear a medium, but a large is like all I buy now because it just works.
I'm getting fluffy, guys, and I got to cut out the IPAs or something. Like I told Melissa, I got all kinds of crap and bolognas and things in the fridge. I got all these heavy Golden State, these IPAs. I'm like, next week, like this week, I can go all out, but I got to pull the reins back. 'Cause I've been playing balcony golf. I'm trying to hit the green across into the golf course with tennis balls, and I've got her taking videos of me on my Instagram stories. And I looked at those, I was like, oh God, that's not good. It was like, how did that happen? I'm like, you've been drinking 10 beers a day for a month and not walking anywhere, and you can't go to the gym. It's just,
well, dude, I would think regardless of getting fluffy on IPA, a lot of people have to feel my pain, and it's like, I don't know if I'm supposed to order a large or an extra large, because sometimes depending on what the shirt is, you get a fucking large and you're like, this ain't even a medium. It's like there's no consistency in the sizing of t-shirts when you order them over by mail. You're like, there's comfort colors, I know it's a large, but if it's a fucking all style or if it's a canvas or whatever, it's like, sometimes a fucking extra large looks like a circus tent. Sometimes it fits. Sometimes a large is fucking for a baby. Other times it works.
That's why I moved between medium and large. And if I'm going to buy something XL, I ask somebody, like, how does that really fit? Because like they like you said, like they fluctuate, and it's fucked up. Because I could wear a medium, but sometimes a medium is just like way too tight up here, and it just like crunches up and gets all
Yeah,
large is safe bet. Hammer T is the best T-shirt right now, in my opinion. It fits true to size. It's perfect.
See, this is why I never buy any new clothes.
Why risk it?
I don't need to worry about it. So.
And you wear a large or an extra large, Pop?
Large.
You're a big dude.
No.
But see, how can I wear the same size as you? I can't be a large. Gotta trust that I'm going to come back down to medium.
I will also say, if you haven't, on Burns's Instagram stories right now is an image of him as like a 40s woman or something.
Yeah, what's up with that, dude? What are you doing over there?
Melissa had a phone call meeting, so I had to be out of the dwelling, and I had 10 minutes to kill, and I was just sitting there, just killing 10 minutes, and I was playing with the filters. Because I never do that. And like, yeah, there you go. That's the story. Stone sober. There's no nothing weird going on there. That's just me entertaining myself.
Disturbing.
I just
Cool,
thought,
dude.
I just thought it.
I paint my nails when I'm high, and Marina's dancing.
I thought it was funny because it said, "Hi." Like Gnarly says that a lot. Like right at the beginning of the show, in the Power Moves episodes, just "Hi." It's just me. It's got the thing. I sent it to my buddies. They were all really disturbed. People, big city folk like us, look at that sideways. I'll tell you what, Midwestern boys, when you shoot that over to them, like, what's going on here, man?
Yeah, shoot me,
Who cares?
shoot me those replies, man. I want to look at those.
Dude, did they in the fourth installment of The Last Dance, did they talk about Tony Kukoc a lot or no?
No, he's not in 4 at all.
They talk about him in 5 a lot.
Okay, because
Yeah,
I read
like
an article. I read an article on ESPN.com today, like with him, where he's just like, it's like I don't know, I don't know about that stuff, like because he was Jerry Krause's boy, and so Pippen and Jordan treated him like fucking dog shit.
They get into that hard.
Okay, all right,
Really?
so that's coming.
They cover it so good, dude. That's what I was saying when I was watching that shit. I caught up to what they were going to show this weekend, and I was just like, stop. And I was like, I can't. And so I kept going, but they get into that so good, dude. But they're going to answer all your questions because he's in it a bunch, and then, like, Jordan's very real about it. Pippen's very real about it. Like, they even say, they're like, it wasn't his fault, but we didn't know. They're like, no one told us shit. Like,
Can we talk about Michael Jordan's destroyed eyeballs? Because I looked it up.
Was he just blasted and high or something, or
He's always looked that way for the last, I'd say, recent memory, 5, 8, 10 years. His eyes have been blown out like that, and he constantly smokes cigars. He in The Last Dance, he has a giant thing of scotch or cognac or something.
his cigar is, like, it's so big.
Oh, yeah.
like a Capri?
I looked up causes of yellow whites of the eyes, and it's across the board. It's just liver failure and jaundice.
Problem gambling.
So last night, while I'm watching The Last Dance, I look up this. I'm one toke over the line. I'm like, it's the last half hour of my being conscious, and before I get in bed, and I start going down that rabbit hole of jaundice eyes because of liver failure. Now I'm in the bathroom at 1:30 in the morning doing this. Oh no, I don't know. Is it the lighting? Is it these vanity light bulbs? Is this doing? No, I don't know. And just sitting there, I'm like, you freaking out, man. You've been in the house too long. You don't have liver failure from light beer.
Yeah, it's
But
funny.
the rookie, sorry.
Go ahead, go.
The rookie Jordan look with just that gold, like, rope little chain he had, hard. With that jersey, just so hard. And probably just yelling at everybody. I was like, God damn. Like, then the whole I jumped so far. Did they cover the sneakers at all? They didn't do that yet, right?
No.
The sneaker part too. Oh my, like, insane. I'm
Also,
gonna shut the fuck up. I got way too high and got way too far ahead.
You're good.
Michael Jordan, there was never a point in time where Michael Jordan didn't dress like shit. He never, like, even now, he just looks like a businessman at, like, the airport. He's wearing the baggy pants and, like, just sitting there and just getting wasted.
He has a very specific style now, and it's so hard to pin down, like, where this came from, because there's two interview looks that he has. One is the big baggy jeans when he's sitting in the chair. He's got the giant cigars, the drink, but then he has the beaded black metal necklace, which is it's very like Limp Bizkit era 311 styling. And then in the other shot, he wears it's almost, I think it might be a short sleeve. It's a lavender or purple Henley. And then he has on the gray, white, and purple camouflage shorts. And then some sort of, it's either a braided or beaded, like, necklace. Yeah, no, just like, but a necklace, it looks like he bought all of his clothes from a Ross Dress for Less or like a Hollister in 2006. where does he get this shit from? Like, he's got his own clothing line. He doesn't even wear that anymore. But yeah, any picture, he's notoriously bad. His jeans are just giant. It doesn't make any sense.
It's Michael Jordan, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
No, but he puts it on. He's not like Adam Sandler, who put on dirty sweatpants and a giant T-shirt to go on the Tonight Show.
Yeah, he's still.
I think he thinks it looks good.
Yeah, he's technically still dressing up. It's just bad fits, man.
Yes.
It's just even back in, yeah.
Go ahead.
This is-
Go ahead, Pop.
I just think it doesn't matter. You're Michael Jordan.
But I need to know why.
That alpha could, I don't know. Well, sorry, Pop, what were you saying?
Oh no, I don't. But like even some of the stuff from the '90s that didn't age well, like they were still cool then. You know what I mean? Or they looked kind of whatever. He's just always has looked. I don't know. I should talk. I have like 8 shirts, but
No, but that is
8.
I don't believe 8 at all.
that is very much a thing, that Michael Jordan has horrible taste in clothing.
Mm.
And
It does remind me, you bringing up Limp Bizkit reminds me of that article I sent you guys about fucking Eddie Van Halen sticking a gun to Fred Durst's head. Did you read it?
I read it.
It's
Funny.
Drove across LA in an assault vehicle and rolled up to the fucking door of his house. Jesus Christ, dude.
what does he have on? He has on like cargo pants, a ripped stained shirt. He's got quoted in the article is his hair is tied up in a samurai bun, sunglasses on, cigarette hanging out of his mouth, and he had done a jam session with Limp Bizkit. It went poorly, so he left all of his gear. This is like custom Eddie Van Halen gear that he probably made with tape and like shaved down the sides of a cabinet with a file and who knows what. And they wouldn't give it back in a timely fashion, so he puts a gun to Fred Durst's head and holds it there while his guys get all his stuff and load it in his car.
The crazy thing to me is that a dude who smokes cigarettes end to end, the reason that jam session ended abruptly is because Eddie Van Halen hates weed, and they were smoking weed, and he got fucking pissed and left. All his shit there. He was like, fuck this, I'm leaving.
And it's so, like, he's probably spent, 40 years on the road, whatever, getting his ass kissed by everyone alive, whatever he wants, whenever he wants. So he finally has a minor inconvenience, and he's like, where's my gun? And he's got to go fucking try to shoot Fred Durst.
Holds
Pop,
on.
man, how's the poker? You're back on the poker sites. How's your game? Are you rusty?
I put in $100. I tripled it up. I took most of it out, and I left like $20 in. I'm back up to 100. So I'm doing.
Damn.
Okay. Just trying to play a little bit every day and make a little quarantine money.
Are you like Phil Hellmuth, or would you describe your style a little more like?
I'm definitely not as much of a spaz as.
Who's Phil Hellmuth?
He's a poker guy from back when he was on TV a lot. He's just a chode who wears the shades and gets mad when he loses and stuff.
He might be a different guy. On YouTube, on my recommended, it said so-and-so, like a famous poker player, but all the times that he was right about calling someone out based on their looks. And it's just
that's probably
the screenshot was him like doing something weird.
That's probably Daniel Negreanu.
That sounds about right.
I think he's famous for that, but
calling people's bluffs or some shit.
Yeah. That's fun. I hate it, but it's fun.
it's fun, but you hate it?
No, it's just stressful. I hate playing. Playing poker for fun is great, but playing poker when you're actually trying to make dough is kind of like a pain in the ass. And
man, if you make enough for a pack of smokes and a 6-pack a day, that's pretty good. That makes those free.
Yeah, I'm trying to make like $20-$25 a day, and then
free smokes.
Yeah,
quarantine, baby.
Hazen smokes.
Yeah. That's all I need. That's all I'm doing anyway. But yeah.
Fucking A, man. Anything else we need to cover? Anything else we'd like to discuss?
Boy, I should write things down.
Maybe we should. We could probably not just instead of needing questions from the viewers, maybe we could bring some of our own prompts in.
Oh yeah, we considered that.
Well, I mean, I admitted that I pissed on my own foot today. I mean, what are you looking for?
Bad move, Vince. Bad move. Now everybody knows it.
I cut sweet lines in my head.
Oh, my girlfriend finally bullied me back on a Saturday. Because apparently I bother her a bunch and like do these little things. So then we both were drinking, and then she like kept bothering me. And I was trying to watch Puss in Boots, and she was just like, "How's it feel?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "This is what you do to me all the time." I was like, "Are you serious?" And she also ate an edible. Like it was a weird day. Fried rice was on point. Like no, that was the night before. I'm gonna buy a wok, dude. I got it sucked into a R/cast iron. So it's just like all these dads just talking about cast iron pans, like all the cool shit you can make with it. Yeah. And then I stumbled upon the wok one. So I'm gonna spend some money to get a good wok, dude.
That's cast iron Reddit.
Yeah, R/cast iron is like so sick.
There's a Reddit for everything.
Nothing but like Dutch babies. Like some guy, the top post when I went on was a lodge, and some guy broke down everything you're supposed to do with it. And the first reply that had like the most upvotes was "Thanks, Dad." Like, I don't know. It's got like that weird dad humor in there. Like, it was so sick. But I was on there for about 2 hours on Saturday.
Melissa ordered
cast irons.
Melissa ordered us a cast iron skillet yesterday because we didn't have one, and I made a pork marinade that has it's honey and soy and onion and garlic, and I think that's it. Either way, with pork, it like burns on those nonstick. We have those eco-friendly or whatever green pots, which I like. They're great. But whenever I cook a pork or something with sugar in them, like that Scrub Daddy got really abused today. Like really just like his face was just covered in filth. and I can't do that anymore. You got to have like a proper super hot cast iron skillet.
A couple of years ago, two places ago when I lived by myself, I got a cast iron. I was going to make a steak. I was watching how to do it on the level of smoke that comes off this cast iron. It's insane. The smoke, it filled up my entire place. Like I literally could not see across my apartment. The smoke alarm.
What did you do?
They said to put it, the recipe said to put it in the oven, preheat it in the oven, and then you take it out. It just went insane, and I had to open the smoke alarm's going off, open the door. I got my shirt off. I'm doing it, and it just even after I opened up the door, I'll completely turn on the fan. It took like 15 minutes till I could even like see like 10 feet. So the steak I didn't even cook it because I just threw it in the fucking trash, and then it was really bad.
You know what's funny is your old place when you would sit next to the door wall and just smoke out the door wall.
Oh yeah.
And every time I'd come over, I'd open the door and be like, "Jesus Christ!" And you'd be like, "You can tell I smoke in here." I'm like, "This place is like a fucking bar in 1998."
The cartoon version of that event has you with a cigarette. There's more smoke happening.
Oh my God. There were days I spent probably half the day sitting in my folding chair next to the door wall, just watching TV and smoking butts.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
It never works. Like the only way you can smoke inside like that is if you have, like I used to do it in Chicago with a fireplace, throw a Duraflame in, and you could just sit there because it sucks the oxygen up.
You need a Duraflame.
And it was, in fucking Chicago in the wintertime, it's -6 degrees. You don't want to go outside and smoke a cigarette. You're like,
you'll die.
It's awful. So you just sit there right up the chimney and just, and you just see the smoke all get sucked right up. Never can tell you smoked in the house. But yeah, that breeze coming in that door was just pumping that cigarette smoke immediately back in.
Did I ever so my thing is, I generally, it's going to make me sound like an asshole. I generally smoke in hotel rooms, and then I just tip the maid, and then I never get in trouble. And so I was doing a gig in like Texas, Austin, I think. It's a Motel 6, and I came home from the gig. It's like 2 a.m. I'm smoking in the room. The smoke alarm goes off, and I can't get it to stop. I can't open it up. So it's just going off. And so somebody from like the front desk comes in, and I'm like in my underpants, and I go, I go, it's so weird. I wasn't even smoking. The whole room is filled with cigarette smoke.
But also, I would always quote, that you have this policy, this routine where you would pay a little money and you never got in trouble. And then finally I was like, but do you ever check your card that you checked in with? And you're like, no. And I'm like, okay, so then we're not sure that you've gotten away with it.
I did have a maid one time. She left. She goes, thank you for the tip, but please stop smoking in here.
Oh, that's a Christian thing to do.
Yeah. So I just stopped because I didn't want to.
I think my favorite part of this in action was after Vince's wedding, me and Pop went back to his room, and Monday Night Beers alum Brent Sullivan was there, and he wanted to go to bed. So he curled up in the fetal position in the bed, and me and Pop sat there in the same room and smoked like 2 whole packs of cigarettes, just with the windows shut, and ripped 1,000 beers before bedtime. And then, Pop did the same thing. He's like, I just leave at 20.
The thing about those rooms at the fucking Madonna Inn, though, is they look like they should smell like stale cigarettes.
Yeah, I didn't see a problem with it.
Yeah, I had a homie take apart our smoke alarm in our hotel room in Chicago. After we've already been smoking weed, we're like by the window. We're just like, no, it's fine. He took it apart. 5 minutes later, I'm like, I'm gonna go take a shit. I'm in the bathroom. This is already like 3 a.m, so we're already hammered and everyone's high. Bang at the door. My buddy Z answers it. He's just like, what's up? And we're like, are you guys smoking in here? He's like, no. He's like, someone tampered with the alarm. No one tampered with the alarm. I'm gonna come in here. My friend's like, fuck you. Just shuts the door. He immediately comes on me to throw the weed in the trash can. Long story short, we had to pay like an extra $100 a person just so they wouldn't press charges. Because apparently tampering that shit's like a felony.
Oh yeah.
Which it is. But it was just one of those situations where like we were all like everything was cool. Yeah. And I was like, why are you talking about that smoke alarm? No, just like it's fine. Everything's fine. And then knock at the door. This guy fucking telling the guy to fuck yourself. Calling the cops. It's all the same. We're in Chicago. I'm short.
That reminds me though of when Pop and I first moved to New York, and we were the first people who lived in the building that we lived in, and then this band moved in 1 flight below, like full on fucking drums, bass, the whole deal.
In the same apartment?
Yes.
You lived in? Oh yes. No.
And they would just be practicing down there, and I had gone to Michigan or something, and Pop's alone. We don't have TV or anything yet. He's just trying to read a book. And they're just playing the same part of a song over and over. It's like 11 or 12 at night. It's please release me to the New York above. Please release me, let the push come to shove was the lyric over and over. So Pop goes down, knocks on the door. The guy cracks the door. He's like, yeah. And he's like, how much longer are you going to be fucking doing this? And they're like, you can hear that? Pop goes, yeah, you're a full band.
Oh my God.
I hear that.
I was raging. It was just like, because it was a brand new building. So it was basically like, it was like a rehearsal loft, and they didn't even stay there for that long. It's like, hey, let's just move in here for like a month and then never pay rent and just get out of here.
I mean, casting no aspersions, but those guys really blazed a trail between the liquor store and the fucking building. I mean, more than even we did, but.
Oh my God, Borum Street, baby.
Borum.
There's a lot of things happen there, man.
Oh yeah.
That's one of those places that was so specific and different to anyone else's dwelling of anyone that I've been friends with. It's the drop ceiling, the cheap bathroom tile throughout the entire place. There were outdoor doors on the bedroom doors. They had little half moon windows and metal fucking front doors on our bedrooms. It was trash. Yeah.
The place was a fucking dump.
And we removed the drop ceiling tile. There was just the chicken wire skylights and everything. And the landlord's just the crazy son and the dad.
Here's the thing, though. When you guys first, that apartment was all new construction. It was dumb and it was cheap shit. But it was new, and I had never seen someone live in a new place. And I remember coming over to your spot, and I live in old, beat up fucking spot, Greenpoint, nice place, fine place to live in New York. But it was not new by any means. And I was like, these guys have kind of got it together. Who's cashing the fat checks in this apartment? This place is nice.
No. We couldn't get a place. And then we finally found a broker, and he goes, we're going to go over here. He goes, I'm going to speak Spanish to the landlord. You guys aren't going to say shit. And next thing you know, he handed us a fucking lease.
Yeah. He goes, yeah, just because you're coming here, but don't say anything. And
so who knows what that guy told him, but the next thing you know, we're living, and the landlord lived on the bottom floor, and they were like barbecuing an animal I still have not been able to identify. It was like
the
halfway
muskrat?
between a squirrel and a fucking, but it was like, I don't know, it was giant. It was weird, but.
And then the one time you were gone, I think this was when you were still going, and the power went out. And the power wasn't even out in the whole block. It was just out in our building. And the landlord's name was Ruben, and he didn't really speak English. And I go, Ruben, when's the power going to be back on? And he goes, I stand here. Electricity. And I go, okay. And then like nothing happened. And then.
Wow.
Yeah. We lived like, it looked like a dentist office or something. There was drop ceiling. It was fucking, yeah. Anyway.
I remember at one point, I don't think you had investigated what was beyond the drop ceiling. And I think when I came back to visit, when I had moved here, and there had been some portions missing, and you could see the chicken wire.
Because we would see light. We would see light coming through the drop ceiling during the day. So we finally were like, what the fuck? And we took like a tile or two out, and there was a skylight, but it just had chicken wire over it.
So weird.
Yeah.
The balcony, though, was a complete blessing.
That was crucial.
That was a luxury for us to grill hot dogs on that little Weber grill and have a mini Heineken keg. Like that was like you just watch the world go by. And then there's homeboy who was the UFC pit fighter who lived next door.
Oh, I forgot about that guy.
Down there doing workouts.
Gnarly, we would watch this guy in his courtyard or the back of whatever this apartment building is, just doing like spin kicks and shit for hours into this heavy bag. And then he had like some smoke show girlfriend who would come out and just kind of be there. And she'd sunbathe.
Yeah.
She'd like go out and sunbathe while this guy beat the shit out of a bag. It was just fantastic entertainment.
Totally forgot. We got to do one of those things where you like go to your old house and knock on the door and be like, "Hey, I used to live here. Is it cool if I?"
Sure, that'll go well.
Oh God, who the hell even knows who's in there now?
Hey, can I come in?
Boys, I think we did it.
Yeah, I think we did.
MNB number 5 in the books.
Oh, we
number
did
5
it.
or number 4?
5.
Wow.
That I have. I mean, maybe it's 4. I don't know. I thought it was 5.
No, it very well could be 5. They're flying by.
None of this matters. It doesn't matter. None of this matters.
Grow up so fast. Grow up so fast.
All right, boys. Stay safe. We'll see you in a week.
All right, good luck, guys. Have fun.
Bye-bye now.